Welcome to Sex Afflictions and Porn Addictions. I am your host, Craig Perra from themindfulhabit.com. I'm the founder of The Mindful Habit, the world's #1 online at-home addiction program for men struggling with sex and porn addiction. I base this claim on the over 230 independent, verified, authenticated, real testimonials from men and their wives, over 200 of them, 5-star, excellent. And this is a podcast to help you create healthy sexuality and a great life. So if you're listening to this podcast, your relationship already is strained, potentially in a significant way. I don't mean to be alarmist. I don't want to be alarmist, but your marriage is under attack. And I so strongly encourage you to embrace this perspective. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to build a case why you should listen to me. The coronavirus not only impacts the GI tract, it doesn't just impact respiration and make you feel sick and give you a fever. It's crushing marriages, infecting relationships, and absent action, your relationship is screwed. Today, I'm going to give you 14 simple, easy, and yes, some of them are obvious, some are not. 14 powerful things you can do to make sure your relationship survives Corona and comes out of this crisis stronger. So a divorce lawyer interviewed online talked about the peak times for divorce are after long exposure during the summer holidays and over Christmas. Why? Because people are spending more time together. You are now likely in some form of quarantine where you are spending more time than ever together. So I just want to share with you what's going on in China, okay? One administrative office in China saw over 300 couples applying for divorces in the last 3 weeks. Another registry in another province received 14 requests for divorce in one day, hitting the upper limit, the most they've ever received. Officials claim it is due to self-isolated couples spending too much time together. One city had to put a daily limit on the number of divorces that were allowed to be filed in a day. And this comes as China declares the lowest number of new coronavirus cases yesterday. No new cases in the province where this all started. Couples are impacted and relationships have been impacted in a significant way. So I read about an interview with David Cates. This guy's got a PhD, a licensed psychotherapist. He's the director of behavioral health at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. Here's what he said to Newsweek. Quarantine is stressful. A review of the evidence published in The Lancet, a prestigious scientific journal, indicates that quarantine can have negative psychological effects, including anger, confusion, and in some cases, post-traumatic stress symptoms. Trauma is all over my world. These fears that the coronavirus is triggering trauma. Okay? Other studies reported, for those who are in quarantine, other psychological symptoms: emotional disturbance, depression, stress, low mood, irritability, insomnia, more PTSD, anger, emotional exhaustion, low mood, and irritability. Factors that increase the stress of quarantine include a longer quarantine duration, the fear of being infected, boredom, inadequate supplies, inadequate information, inadequate information, and financial loss. He said, being together in a small space for much longer period than under usual stressful conditions means more opportunities to amplify both positive and negative dynamics. So here's his summary, that relationships with a strong foundation will survive and may even flourish, where those characterized by poor negotiation skills, destructive communication, and lack of appreciation are more likely to buckle under the stress. And so in his interview, Cates spoke to research by John Gottman. John Gottman runs the Gottman Institute, the leading couples program, the leading evidence-based couples program in the world. He's got a great book, The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. It is always very close to me when I am doing what I do and helping people manage the crisis of sex addiction and porn addiction. The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. Great, great, great book. And what they did a study back in the 70s, and I want to tell you about this study because this leads to my number one, which is really, 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 really important. So what they did in this study is they wired and recorded like thousands of couples over the years. Literally everything that they did, they measured their biometrics, and once they accumulated and aggregated all that data, they realized that they could predict with a 93% accuracy what couples were getting divorced based upon this one thing. The one thing. And the one thing was the positive attention to negative attention ratio. So couples who had at least 5 positive comments or gestures for every negative interaction were generally happy. So 5 positives to 1 negative. Why 5 to 1? Because negative is so powerful. We're fear-based organisms. We react to fear. And so when that fear of not being good enough, or fear of being unlovable is triggered by us, by our partner, it takes 5 good ones to make up for the 1 negative. And what they found in this study, for the couples that had 5 to 1, happy, right? 4 to 2, miserable. 3 to 3, like on the track to divorce, flip-flop. 2 to 4 the other way, divorce. It literally was like jumping off a cliff when that ratio changed. It was literally like jumping off a cliff when that ratio changed. When it was anything other than 5 positive interactions to 1 negative interaction. So now, right, knowing that, let's get to the 14 things that you can do so you don't end up a relationship statistic. So you come out of this stronger, and I beg you to take notes. Everything I say is evidence-based, has been researched, has been part of my life and my practice in helping people struggling with compulsive sexual behavior and their relationship for the past 8 years. Here's what happened. We overlook the easy. We look for these complicated solutions and we overlook the easy. Please, in this time of crisis, do not overlook the easy. I want you to be happy. I want you to be successful. I want you to thrive. So number 1, calculate your ratio. Spend a day noticing, taking notes on each interaction that you have with your partner. Was it positive? Was it negative? Calculate your ratio. How many positive interactions are you having? And how many negative interactions are you having? Calculate that ratio and do everything possible that you can to get to 5 to 1. And what's awesome about the 5 to 1 is it's easy. This isn't like big, bold gestures. You don't gotta like do one of these promposals that I've seen online with like incredibly complicated, ornate. You just have to be kind. You just have to let the other person know that you love them and that you care about them and they're making you smile. And when you see something funny or you read a funny joke or see a funny video, pass it along, watch it together. 5 positive interactions to 1 negative. So number 1 is to calculate your ratio. Number 2, to survive and thrive during quarantine, couples should look for opportunities to show interest, find areas of agreement, express affection and appreciation, and demonstrate empathy. Okay, so that's a mouthful. that is a mouthful, but this is basically an extension of number 1, which is to be kind. Look for opportunities to accentuate the positive. Find areas of agreement, express affection and appreciation, and demonstrate empathy. Number 3, recognize that worry, fear, stress, and guilt are expected. And these are normal reactions during quarantine. And not criticize one another for expressing these feelings, right? Hear, see the other person. What does intimacy mean? Into me, you see. See your partner. Let them see you. And if you're listening to this podcast and they're not, someone's got to lead. Someone's got to take charge. Someone has to make sure things don't go to hell in a handbasket and you get swept into the undertow of fear and reactivity. Excuse me. Here's number 4. Get the facts and understand the actual risk, okay? Media coverage with its dramatic lead-ins and bold headlines is likely making your personal risk seem worse than it is. So get the facts and understand the actual risk. Related to that, number 5, get the facts from a reliable source such as the CDC, your local health department. I've been looking to my local health department and getting some great information. Well, listen, I have been blessed. I have been ahead of this curve because I got clients way smarter than me who told me we'd be in this quarantine, the shut-in type state 2 weeks ago. People said I was crazy. Just want to put that out there. The ego's talking. Yes, the ego's talking. My parents thought I was nuts when I said we'd be in this spot 2 weeks ago. But that's because I paid attention to the right news, reliable sources. Number 6, limit media consumption, such as 30 minutes in the morning and evening, rather than reading headlines or keeping cable news on all day. There is no benefit to you keeping cable news on all day. They're impossible. It's just, I can't see it. I know things are changing. I know you're confused. Maybe you have many check-ins, but do not let it be this constant, all-out, stream of information that you are digesting. You are putting poison in your body. You are making your trauma worse. You are hurting and impacting your PTSD. You're making those triggers worse. So limit media consumption is number 6. Number 7, connect with others who can provide social support. So I know that the addiction communities locally have been shattered, have been fractured. Okay, but there's other ways to get help. You can reach out via telephone, email, social media, text message, FaceTime, Skype. And if you need to jump into an aggressive program, guess what? I run a group coaching program. For the right guy, it is the best program in the world. More on that later. Number 7, connect with others who can support you, who can lift you up, not bring you down. Number 8, create and follow a daily routine. A morning routine, an afternoon routine, and an evening routine. We as humans strive best when there is structure. And ideally, these routines would include time for work, time for exercise, times for hobbies, times for learning, and times for eating. Even if that routine is like 2 minutes long in the morning, even if that routine is 2 minutes long in the afternoon, 5 minutes before you go to bed. Right? Start small and grow, but have a routine. Most of you, your routines have been disrupted in a significant way. Counterbalance that. That is not going to happen by accident. Number 9, stay busy. This is a good time to catch up on books or movies. Fix things around the house you've been meaning to get to. Learn a language. Try out new recipes. These are things that you could do together as a couple, but they can also be separate activities. So stay busy. Number 10, eat well. It is going to be very tempting for you to binge eat. I did last night. As some of you know who've been paying attention over the course of the past few years, I've got GI issues. And I've learned that I was misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease at one point. I don't have that, but I've got other issues. And that means I got to pay really careful attention to what I eat. I paid the price, but I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm committed to eating healthier, but I wanted to let everyone know that I was tempted to binge. It's okay. I'm going to make mistakes. Forgive yourself. You fall down, you get back up. That was a lesson. I learned a lesson last night. Well, this morning when the lesson came. I learned a lesson that what I put in my body is going to affect how I respond. It's going to affect my ability to lead. So I got to eat well. Number 11, get sufficient sleep. Now, listen, I told you I was going to talk about the obvious. I was going to mention the things that we all know to do, but we take for granted. Eat well. Number 10. Number 11, get sufficient sleep. Number 12, exercise. Go on YouTube. Whole body workout, no weights for men, whole body for women. If you're older, Diamond Dallas Page has got a great yoga channel. Yoga by Adrian is a wonderful yoga channel. There's a million things out there. The prison exercise, you don't need any equipment. Just push-ups, sit-ups. If you can't do a push-up, you lean against the table and do a push-up that way. So no excuses. You're gonna have to exercise. And for those of you who are disciplined enough to go to the gym, well, you're not going to the gym now. And if you're listening to this in a part of the country where you're still letting you go to the gym, your government is way behind and really making a mess. Look at other states. See what the responsible states are doing, okay? Physical exercise. 13, learn formal skills for managing stress, such as deep breathing, muscle relaxation, or mindful meditation. I live in a world where I have to practice mindfulness. I have to, because the monkey mind left unchecked is so dangerous and drives me to dark places. Brings me to places where I think of myself as a piece of shit. Makes me want to numb, cope, and escape. There's a lot to want to numb, escape, and cope with right now. So I've got to train that monkey mind so it doesn't grab those negative thoughts as it has habitually conditioned and trained to do. So many people are like, I can't think about this. I can't think about that. I had these thoughts and I got to stop thinking this. I got to stop thinking about. Stop it. You're making it worse because that what you resist persists. You're making it worse because that which you resist persists. You must practice mindfulness. And there's a couple of great resources to do it on your iPhone in the App Store. The app Headspace or the app Calm. 2 great resources. On YouTube, mindfulness, guided visualization. You can go the science route. You can go the spiritual route. You can go the religious route. You will find something mindfulness in whatever way is good for you, whatever you attract to, whatever you connect with. You will find somebody doing it that way. UCLA, free mindfulness resources. Google UCLA, free mindfulness resources. You got to train your brain. You got to proactively manage this fear. So learn formal skills for managing stress. Lucky 13. 14, last but not least, be proactive in your relationship goals. Recognize that your marriage is under attack. Pardon the drama part. Just recognize that there's an assault on your marriage that you have, left unchecked, have no control over, but you do have incredible control. You can be proactive. You have the power to create positive. You have the power to bring more love into your life. You have the power to develop and grow in intimacy. You have the power to lead intimacy. Into me, you see. You have the power to use this crisis to touch your partner's soul, the person that you chose to live the rest of your life with. Pretty crazy, right? Things like this remind us we don't know how long that rest of our life can be. That's the gift. That's the opportunity. So those are your 14 reasons, 14 things that you can do to use this crisis to not get divorced, to use this crisis to grow your relationship. And notice, it wasn't all relationship stuff here. I didn't want to do that. I think there are some relationship things that you can do, and there's things that you need to do independently, individually. There's both. If you're going to be successful, you're going to have to do both. Now, if you want structured help, not everybody does, but if you do want structured help, I have reduced the price of my online self-study program from $499 to $99. That is the self-study program. The price has been reduced for $499 to $99. You can sign up for that right on the website. Select the $499 option and enter the coupon code Mindful2020. So this is for the self-study program only. You have to select the $499 option. You get $400 off and only pay $99. The coupon code is Mindful2020. Now, my most popular option is my group coaching program, and I am absolutely blown away by the incredible support that these guys are providing for each other. The men in this program have chosen to use this crisis to grow stronger together. They appreciate the value of community. They appreciate the value of having a coach who's going to push them, who's going to drive them, who's going to expose blind spots in an assertive, aggressive way, because life is too short to suck. I have dramatically discounted the group coaching program. I've expanded the number of scholarships that I offer per month. If that's something you're interested in, you have to talk to me. You can call this number to schedule time with me. This number is 877-769-3790. The number is 877-769-3790. My receptionist will take your information. We'll schedule a time for you to talk to me. I'll reach out to you. I'll text you and share with you what those options are. So blessed, so privileged that you are using your precious time to listen to me. I am so blessed. I'm going to continue to honor that by creating broadcasts that are going to help you create healthy sexuality and a great life, and to help you own this time so it doesn't own you. Feed the right wolf and embrace your power of choice. Craig Perra from The Mindful Habit signing off. Peace and love.